You know, we get into conversation and comfortable here, but I guess I'll say it's comfortable.
The hot cocoa has cream and sprinkles in the whipped cream in the hot cocoa.
Very family oriented. You know, they cater to the kids. They got the coloring books and crayons, and they have kids size stuff about our homes for everything that you would want. So, young and old, everybody can enjoy it.
Bottom of the first inning, still a scoreless game between the Bombers and the Coyotes here in the PSCL. Owen Brown was able to get out of a pretty good outing, even though the Bombers were threatening, and we know them to have some pretty big batters. The Coyotes will come up to bat against Jake Williams in the first pitch delivery. That is outside for ball one to Richard Gill, the DH for the Coyotes today.
Yeah, Owen Brown worked himself out of an early jam. He walked the first guy, a lot of base hits, so the first two runners were on, and then he gets a strikeout and a 5-2 putout, and then a ground ball to third base to get out of that first inning jam. So now the Coyotes are up to bat to try to take the lead.
Richard Gill's got a 2-0 count to start off with. Here's the next delivery, and he goes down the right field side and away from the glove of Bolden Jr. as it rolls into the outfield. And Richard Gill will turn around. He's got himself a single. Tough play there for Bolden Jr. at the first base position. He just tried to scoop it up, but it was a hard ground roller down that right field corner. It's rolled that direction. So they'll get a leadoff single for Richard Gill to start off today. Pretty good piece of hitting.
Yeah, unless you pick that ball up right away off the bat as a first baseman, it's going to be tough to dive and land on top of that ball to prevent it from going into the corner. It wasn't hit too hard, so it didn't travel that far down the line, which is why Richard Gill is standing at first base instead of second or third. That'll bring up Christian Areola, the center fielder for the Coyotes, who's usually in the top half of this lineup.
Here's the first delivery. That one is in there for strike one to Christian Areola.
Time's called as looks like Granger Moreno needs some new shades, or he's just getting rid of the ones he had. Either way, he decides he doesn't need them anymore.
Maybe a bit of some glare there. That one is in for ball one, so it's a 1-1 count to Christian Areola.
Checking the runner. Long pause on the mound.
He delivers. That one's in the dirt. The Coyotes are coming off of a really tough loss yesterday. They played here yesterday against the A's, and they lost 11-10 in that game. Trying to get back on the win column here in the PSCL. Richard Gill at first. Christian Areola watches next pitch. 3-1 count.
Yeah, that pitch did not miss by much. Breaking ball outer half.
Here's a 3-1 count on the way by Jake Williams. Sets and delivers. Never mind, he checks over at first. Again, really taking that long pause. See if he can try to catch him out of the corner of the eye with Richard Gill at first base right now. No outs, scoreless game between the Coyotes and the Bombers through a half inning here in the bottom of the first. And fouls the next pitch off, Christian Areola, for a full count now.
That was a nice hack for Areola. Fastball upper half of the zone. Took a nice swing at it and fouled it straight back. So that's how you know he's seeing the ball. Just needs to put the barrel on it.
He's a Division III guy from Whittier College. Already has an RBI with 3 singles. Or no, 1 double, 1 RBI and 3 strikeouts so far. Next delivery, that's a changeup. That one dotted up the strike zone for strike 3.
Perfect location for that pitch from Jake Williams, and he gets the Coyotes the first out. Works himself back into the count as he was down 3-1, throws back-to-back strikes to get the first out.
There's Dylan Garcia, who steps into the box. Number 3, 13 at-bats, more than any player on this team. 5 singles, 7 hits. 2 of those were triples. That one's in there for strike 1 as he watches that secondary changeup again from Jake Williams.
Yeah, he's just changing that velocity so well, trying to throw off these Coyotes.
Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way from Williams. Upstairs, got a piece of Dylan Garcia. He will take first base. A freebie given by Jake Williams. Now there's 2 men on first and second.
Yeah, that one just stayed on the inner half and got a piece of Dylan Garcia. So with 1 out now, the cleanup hitter for the Coyotes is Caleb Montemayor. Early pitching mound, or pitching mound visit, should I say, for the Bombers and their battery, as it's just those 3 having a conversation on the mound.
Coach Dylan Smith out there trying to sell those guys back in, even though there's just 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. If you're just joining us, scoreless game. Justin Lee, Zachary Durham on the call here on the PSCL YouTube channel. The Bombers were threatening early with 2 men on base. Started off with a walk, and then a single from Xander Martinez. And then the man was able to reach on a fielder's choice. They took down the lead runner at home, and Caden Risley. And then put it yourself away from Manzano. Ended the inning. So we're back into play here. 1 out and 2 men on base. Dylan Garcia at first, Richard Gill at second. First pitch. This is low for ball 1 to Montemayor. Next pitch misses low, just in front of the feet of Caleb Montemayor in the box right here. He's got a chance to add another RBI to his season. He only has 1 so far. 4 singles in 10 at-bats. He's had himself a pretty good time in that cleanup hitter's box.
Another long pause on the mound.
Watching very closely. Next delivery, grounded. Just before the runner can go, the toss over. Bolden has to come off the bag as he tags down Caleb Montemayor. It's a bad throw initially from the shortstop, but good job from Bolden with the awareness to jump out in front and then tag the runner. They get the second out there, and everyone else moves over into scoring position.
Yeah, heads up defending over there at the corner for Bolden Jr. as the throw pulled him off the bag, but a quick snag and tag for the first baseman is able to get the second out, but both runners advance 90 feet as the Coyotes now have 2 in scoring position for Antonio Longobardi.
That one is in there for strike 1 on the first delivery. Still a scoreless game here, but the Coyotes have a chance to put 1 on the board here in the bottom of the first inning with 2 men in scoring position. That's Dylan Garcia at second and Richard Gill at third, who led off this inning with a single. Pitch upstairs, nearly got the left shoulder of Antonio Longobardi for a 1-1 count.
Longobardi had himself a nice day the other day against the A's. A couple of RBIs, a run scored, a single and a double.
Next delivery, that one's way too inside as well for a 2-1 count. Brought it a little lower this time. Longobardi is hitting .750 batting average so far this season, even though it's a small sample size with just 4 at-bats. From Occidental College, another Division III player. There's a next delivery, and this time it looked like it may have gotten a piece of Longobardi as the umpire calls time.
And they are going to say it got him.
Our runners have to go back. Richard Gill's got to go back to third, and Dylan Garcia back to second because they were going on that what seemed like a pass ball, but Antonio Longobardi is on first with the hit by pitch. That is the second hit by pitch in just this half inning. It's a little bit of some control issues for Jake Williams on the mound right now. Now the bases are loaded with 2 men away here in the bottom of the first in a still scoreless game for the Coyotes and Bombers. And here's Connor Meager, the extra hitter today.
He scored a couple of runs in his last game. Also had an RBI double, so this is a good spot to get yourself a base knock.
Pitch way upstairs inside on pitch 1 for ball 1.
Yeah, both pitchers are struggling with that front door breaking ball to right-handed hitters, just leaving it in that batter's box. And that's why we've seen a couple of hit by pitches this inning.
That one's down the third base line, but out of play in front of the Coyotes dugout for strike 1.
Mager taking his time. Looks like he felt the brunt end of that. A little bit of recoil on the bat as he shakes his hand before stepping back into the box.
Another good reason why you got to use batting gloves, especially with the Wood Bat League. That one is grounded up in the air and gloved, and they call it foul.
That was a borderline play. Good job by the third baseman, Jones, to be ready for a fair ball to come up ready to throw a strike to first if needed, but as you said, it ends up on the wrong side of the line.
Looks like it would have been a good play because you would have done a 5U there and then threw it to end the inning, but still 2 outs here in the scoreless game, bases loaded for the Coyotes. Here's the next delivery, popped up in the air on the right field side. Bolden's going after it in foul territory, kind of comes over and missteps it as he drops the ball for another foul ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was in position to make that play, but I think at the last second he just might have lost it in the sun. That ball had a lot of late movement on it, a lot of spin and English off of the bat, and it just tailed away from Bolden Jr. over there. So Mager and the Coyotes get to see another pitch.
Bit of an awkward misstep between the grass and the dirt down there on that first base line. Here's the next delivery, 2-2 outside.
We'll have to come back and see how important that could be depending on how this at-bat goes.
Excuse me, it's a 2-2 count here for Connor Meager. Here's the pitch on the way. And that one is inside. And now it's a full count for Connor Meager. Second batter in this half inning with a full count. And the bases loaded here. Jake Williams trying to at least avoid giving up a run here. Bombers were threatening in the top of the first inning with runners of their own, and they weren't able to score. People are running, and he's going on a full count. The ball's on the ground. This has got to be a good play from Jones to first. Bolden Jr. lays out and steps on first to get the out. They get out of a bases-loaded jam, and it still remains a scoreless game through 1. We'll be back here for the PSCL YouTube channel in just a moment. A scoreless game.
Somewhere down there is you. And just like us, you're an amazing Palm Springs vacation home. I bet we have a lot yet down to earth. It down and make a splash.
Back here in the top of the first inning in a scoreless ball game between the Bombers and the Coyotes. And Christian Maciel leading off in the bottom or top of the second. Once again against Owen Brown, who got out of a 2-man on base situation. First pitch upstairs for ball one to Christian Maciel. Both teams have already threatened with runners. The Bombers were threatening, or the Coyotes rather, were threatening with bases loaded in the bottom half of the first inning. And weren't able to score after a good play from Jones from the third base side to get the runner out at first as he grounded one in the infield. Ball two here to Christian Maciel with a 2-0 count. Both teams trying to bounce back from a couple of hard, heavy losses in yesterday's affairs. Here's a 2-0 delivery to Maciel, and he gets a good one right between the 5-6 gap into the outfield. A leadoff single here for Christian Maciel. So he's on board at first base now. Bombers led off the top of the first with a walk of their own. But they lead off things here with a single off the bat of Christian Maciel, this shortstop today for the Bombers. Here's the first delivery to Isaiah Dandridge, who's the extra hitter in the batter's box here. Goes after the first pitch and tips it into the glove for strike one. Dandridge has only had one hit so far this season, one walk, a lot of strikeouts, trying to change that narrative here with a runner at first now. And there he goes as he fouls one off. Isaiah Dandridge getting a piece of that ball with Christian Maciel trying to steal second, so he'll have to go back to first.
It's just the audio's fine. It's just the video. So not much we can do.
Isaiah Dandridge has got his brother here with the Bombers as well. He's on the bench today, but he's available in case they need to get another guy here for the Bombers. So right behind Dandridge would be Delmonico Granger Moreno, the catcher, and then Carter Jones is in the hole at the third base position. Here with no outs in the top of the second inning, the Bombers and the Coyotes still scoreless through one. Both teams have 3 hits combined. Christian Maciel led off this inning with a single between the 5-6 gap that got into the outfield and grounder. Isaiah Dandridge is trying to advance that runner here with no men away. So 0-2 count on the way, facing off against Owen Brown. Here's a delivery, and that one is upstairs. Christian Maciel staying close by at first base. 1-2 count here. You might try to steal within the next 2 pitches. Here's the next delivery, 1-2 count. Owen took his time and a swing and a miss. And tipped into the glove of the catcher. Yeah, that's strike one. Or strike three, excuse me.
Yeah, kind of a lot of confusion there, as it was not sure if it was a foul tip or not. Either way, it was a swing and a miss for Dandridge, and he goes down.
Second strikeout of the day for Owen Brown, eliminating the damage so far through 1 inning. At least 3 runners threatening in that previous half inning. But here right now with just one runner and one out, here's Delmonico Granger right in there for strike one to Granger. As Pollard pops up, try to keep Masio there at first base.
Yeah, still a scoreless game, but we've seen a lot of high leverage situations, even if with just a runner on, threatening as the go-ahead run.
That one is up the middle, just away from the glove, but good defense as it rolls into the outfield. It seemed like initially, and now Masio is going to third, and Delmonico Granger is at first now. And what looked like was going to be a pretty good play there by Romero at the second base position, because initially it looked like Brown had a chance to go glove that ball, but he let it go as it was rolling to that second base side, and some control issues there from the defense. And now there's runners at the corners again, a similar situation just like the top of the first.
Yeah, Romero just trying to look ahead at the double play that could have gotten the Coyotes out of the inning, but he left his glove up. And now they have runners on the corners with one out here in the top of the second.
Here's Carter Jones stepping in. Runners at the corners here. First delivery, that one is in there for strike one on the inside corner. The two singles here in the top of the second. It's got runners at the corners again, just like the top of the first for the Bombers. With one man away here, the double play would end it, but Brown's got to trust his defense here. Here's the next delivery. That one is on the other side, so he goes coast to coast on two back-to-back pitches to make it an 0-2 count.
Yeah, even though there's only one out with an 0-2 pitch, you can afford to waste a pitch or two if you want to go for the strikeout.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way for Owen Brown. Grounded up in the air, caught by Longobardi. Throw to first. They get him there, but they score a run. Bombers are on the board 1-0 with a ground out by Carter Jones. And Christian Maciel scores the first run for the Bombers today.
Yeah, good job for Longobardi to recover after initially bobbling. No hesitation, picks it up and fires a strike to first to get an out. The second one of the inning, but it brings home the first run of the ball game.
So here's Heath Bolden Jr., the first baseman, who's seen a lot of, or at least a few plays today so far in this game. That one is in the ground, pitch in front, and advancing over to third is Delmonico Granger.
Another guy on third now, 90 feet away from scoring and adding another run of insurance for the Bombers. That one squirted away. I'm not sure if it was going to be ruled a wild pitch or a pass ball, but either way, it's Granger Moreno who scoots up 90 feet to third.
Heath Bolden Jr. in the box right here. Runner at third now. Delivery upstairs.
Two outs, runner on third in a one-run game. Owen Brown still on the mound for the Coyotes, trying to get out of it.
Here's a 2-0 delivery on the way. And it's outside in the righty batter's box, or lefty, I should say. 3-0 count here. One time through the lineup if Heath Bolden Jr. can get on base here with two outs. If you're just joining us, Bombers up with 1-0 already here in the top of the second after a ground out play that scored a run. And that one is in there for strike one as Heath Bolden Jr. was ready to get his free bag down the first base line.
And not the first time we saw that today, as one of his teammates tossed the bat looking for a base on balls. Ends up having to trot back.
He flipped the bat there. Heath Bolden Jr. from Henry Ford College. Just like many of these other players, a lot of community college players, recent high school graduates, Division III, Division II. Grounded up in the air, running over is Romero. He gloves it, throws it to first, high throw, and he's able to secure it for out number 3. So they're unable to score another run, but the Bombers strike first with a 1-0 ball game as we're off to the bottom of the second here on the PSCL YouTube channel.
Building your business is no small undertaking, and you need the right team by your side. Whether you're just getting started or expanding nationwide, Pacific Premier Bank is here to support your business every step of the way. As your trusted banking partner, we can help guide you down the right path with customized solutions designed for your business. We'll help you achieve the success you deserve. Pacific Premier Bank. Let's build your future together.
Here, bottom of the second, 1-0 Bombers up on top after they scored a run in the top of the second inning. And the first pitch is a ball one here to Maxwell Schmerber. That one's in there for strike one. Another work of innings here for Jake Williams up on the mound, who got out of a bases loaded situation in the previous half inning. That one is upstairs, misses for 2-1 count.
Trying to work outside as he has or had in the first inning. Working away from these Coyote hitters.
That one is also missing as well. So it's a 3-1 count here for Max Schmerber. So next delivery, that one is in there for strike two. So full count here for Max Schmerber here in the bottom of the second inning. Bombers still up on top 1-0 after they scored a run. And the Coyotes trying to answer right back. Here's a 3-2 pitch on the way, and that one's low in the ground for ball four.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was going to get rung up. We've seen a couple of delayed strike three calls from home plate umpires this week, but this time it's a leadoff walk.
So at first base now with Max Schmerber. Another Max here. Max Pollard will step in, catcher for the Coyotes. With a man out first, no outs here. Here's the delivery. That one is on the outside corner for strike one.
Yeah, again, he's working outside to get ahead of these hitters. He's had a couple of hit by pitches and a walk. Other than that, he's been able to get some ground ball outs.
Change up, grounded to the shortstop. turn at 4, at 3, and double play. Great defense from the Bombers on the infield side. Maciel Martinez and Bolden Jr. all working together.
Right on cue. There's that double play that they were looking for. 6-4-3 after a leadoff walk. And there's 2 outs in the inning now.
6-4-3 double play. Great defense there for the Coyotes who turned, or for the Bombers who turned around a good one there. And here's Carson Romero with 2 men away, and first pitch is in for ball 1.
Yeah, it was a strong throw from Martinez at second because the ball wasn't hit too hard to Maciel at short, so the throw from the second baseman had to be a good one.
That one is grounded toward the third base line, but just beyond the chalk and out of play for ball or strike 1 on the foul ball. And now the pitcher, Jake Williams, has got a chance to kind of get out of this inning with a 1-2-3 outing.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 outs that he has gotten for his team have been via the ground ball.
And that one swung on and tipped into the glove of the catcher for strike 2. Here in a 1-2 count. Different little bit of an outcome here for Jake Williams, who had to try to get out of a bases loaded situation in the previous half inning. Here's the 1-2 payoff. That one is outside. Would look like kind of a slider pitch.
Yeah, he's been throwing that fastball in the outer half, so that 1-2 slider low and away to the right-handed hitter tried to get him to chase, but good at-bat being put together here from Carson Romero.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that one's in the dirt.
Similar pitch. This one had a little more bite and was a little lower in the zone. Romero thought about offering, instead runs the count full.
Romero's got 3 singles already this season in 9 at-bats, hitting a .333 batting average. 3-2 payoff, and watch it for strike 3. So, different outcome here. 1-2-3 inning with a ground double play for the Bombers. They're still up by 1-0 as we're off to the 3rd.
Jessup Auto Plaza has been proudly serving the Coachella Valley since 1938 as your trusted family-owned auto destination. Now, electrify your drive with the Valley's most extensive range of electric vehicles. Drive the Chevrolet Blazer, Equinox, Silverado, the powerful GMC Hummer, Sierra, and the distinctive Cadillac Lyriq. Silent power, bold performance. Electrify your drive. Jessup Auto Plaza. Since 1938, the EV brands you love, the family you trust.
Hey, Coachella Valley, Patrick Summers here, General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Spring is here and summer is right behind it. Don't get caught with a broken air conditioning system. Call us now. Let us get a tune-up done. We're offering a special for $79. It comes with a seasonal guarantee. Call our team today. Get yourself scheduled before the heat hits. Be proactive, not reactive. Go ahead and book at callthegeneral.com or call our offices and we'll get you taken care of.
So we're off to the top of the 3rd inning with the Bombers still up on top 1-0 after they scored a run with essentially what was basically a fielder's choice back in the top 2nd as the pitch is in there for strike one. We're back to the top of the lineup here for Caden Risley, who led off the game with a walk of his own on essentially a 3-2 count. The center fielder today trying to get on base here for the Bombers again and trying to add in some extra runs as he goes for a pitch that was way inside in the dirt for strike two.
Owen Brown in his third inning of work. Only allowed 2 hits, 1 run. Has a couple of Ks. And he's ahead 0-2 in the count to start off this third inning.
Next delivery, check swing. Appeal to first base. No swing through. 1-2 count for Caden Risley.
He attacked Risley with the 0-2 fastball down at the knees. Didn't miss by much. But now he's got a couple of pitches to work with to try to put away this hitter.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. That one's floated and missing outside for ball 2, 2-2 count. Good eye from Caden Risley.
Looked like it was a little bit up. Long pause on the mound for Owen Brown to try to throw off the hitter.
Throws way behind the back of Risley and over the head. And it goes to the backstop for a full count. So the second time Caden Risley is drawn through a full count. Last time he got a full count and he walked.
That's exactly what you want out of your leadoff hitter. Try to get the pitcher to waste as many pitches to get through that first batter of the inning, no matter what part of the game it is.
Here's a payoff 3-2.
Another long pause for Brown. And the ump calls time.
No pitch clock here in this game for the PSCL, so pitchers can take as much time as they need to. Here's a 3-2 again. Another long pause. He throws and delivers, and it's upstairs and missing high for ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Caden Risley. He's on board to lead off here in the top of the third.
Yeah, good at bat. Started down 0-2, able to work a walk to bring up his teammate Xander Martinez, who hit a single and stole second back in the first before being stranded out there.
Here's the first delivery. He goes after one, a hard grounder, good pickup. Throw to second. They go to first. Tries to reach over and reaches and leans, and he says he's off the bag. Manzano fell off of first base. The throw from Romero. It was a good play from Montemeyer to Romero, but they couldn't get the first base bag out. So one down, the lead runner, and Xander Martinez is safe at first.
Yeah, it was a hard hit ball to third. They were easily going to get that out at second, but an errant throw and a foot off the bag at first keeps the Bombers from having 2 outs. They still have a guy on with 1 out and their 3-hitter up.
Here's Sith Einestad struck out swinging his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. He goes for a high fastball and misses bad.
Yeah, went up after that pitch and came up empty. Fastball at the letters for the right-handed hitter. Big swing and a miss.
The recent high school graduate from Coalinga Community College. That is where he's at right now. Here's the 0-1 delivery and a swing and a miss. 0-2 count now for Seth Einestad.
Pretty similar pitch and a similar result. Swing and a miss from the righty. That one not as high up towards the chest, but it was still over the plate. Now he's up 0-2.
1 man away with an 0-2 count and a man at first. Here's the next delivery. That one is inside, missing for ball 1. Main difference so far, just an RBI fielder's choice grounder for Carter Jones, who scored the run from Chris Amasio, who led off in the top of the second inning with a single between the 5-6 gap. He ended up getting home for a 1-0 ball game for the Bombers here in the top of third inning. There goes Xander Martinez, swinging a miss, strikeout for Einestad. Throw over to second, not in time. The 2-way now, but runner in scoring position at second base with Xander Martinez on the steal.
Yeah, the Coyotes thought they were going to get to strike him out, throw him out, but Martinez is able to scoot down to second and get into scoring position now with 2 away.
Second time Einestad has struck out today. Yang steps into the box, was able to reach on base with a fielder's choice. As they got the lead runner in the top of the first inning. Here's the first pitch. Big swing, miss. Early swing, misses for strike one.
Yeah, went with the breaking ball to get ahead of Yang. He offered at the first pitch. Good break to get the right fielder to swing and miss.
0-1 count here. Man on second and Xander Martinez. He's off the bag way far. The coverage man would be Romero there. He delivers, popped up in the air, trailing towards no man's land. Romero turns his back, able to get in front of it and makes the catch. For the final out, they leave another man stranded on the bases. It still remains a 1-0 ball game here on the PSCL YouTube. Bombers 1-0 over the Coyotes so far.
For 20 years, our family's mission has been simple. It all starts at Stuffed, where exceptional service meets bold flavors. Every crust, a masterpiece. Cocktails crafted to perfection, and an atmosphere that brings family and friends together. Stuffed pizza, dine-in or takeout. Savor and enjoy at our 2 locations. Quality, service, family legacy, it all starts at Stuffed.
Whenever you find yourself hungry for something real, simple, and true, we're here for you.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
Monster Shakes, the best ice cream creations in the desert and only place in the world that serves all 10 flavors of Dole Soft Serve. The winner of the best soft serve and smoothies, home to the world's best date shake and other fun creations like ice cream nachos and the cotton candy burrito. For a limited time, come in and try your luck. Any soft serve that weighs exactly 16 ounces is free. Monster Shakes in Palm Springs and Cathedral City facing the Mary Pickford. Franchise opportunities available too. Monster Shakes, a delicious mess.
So back here on the PSCO YouTube channel, Justin Lee and Zachary Durham on the call for the Bombers and Coyotes game, which is still 1-0 through 2.5. Bombers on top right now. And right now Jake Williams is doing pretty good up there on the mound for the Bombers so far. He's gone out of a few jams already. And here's a first pitch delivery that's in there for strike one to the leadoff man here in Luke Manzano.
Yeah, Williams has looked sharp. He's had a couple of strikeouts and a few ground balls. That's exactly what you want to see out of an arm.
That ball's in the dirt for a 1-1 count. The Coyotes have a very interesting character at the first base side and their first base coach. Saw him dancing before the inning break. You love to see that kind of fun, especially out here in the PSCL.
That's Mason St. Hilary down there, assuming the duties of first base coach for the Coyotes on this fine Sunday morning. Once again, if you're a father listening, happy Father's Day.
Hope you're going to have a nice dinner tonight. Hopefully all these folks here will also have a good one for their fathers, husbands, or whatnot. That ball is way outside for ball 2. Luke Manzano from Antelope Valley College, freshman this year. That one is inside, just in front of his shins. It's a 3-1 count here for Luke Manzano, so a hitter's count for Luke Manzano to lead off here in the bottom of the third, where the Coyotes are trying to bounce back with a single run. And the Bombers up 1-0 right now. Here's a 3-1 on the way, and that one is also way inside, just cutting in front of Luke Manzano's face mask, and he's on board with the leadoff walk.
Yeah, he allowed a free base to the leadoff hitter last inning. That was Maxwell Schmerber. Pollard grounded into a double play, and then Romero struck out to end that inning. So another leadoff walk from Williams and the Bombers. Let's see if they can get out of this inning unscathed.
Williams, last time he led off with a walk, he got some help from his defense with a 6-4 double play in the previous bottom second inning from his infield. Here's the first delivery, swung on and missed by Richard Gill as we're back to the top of the lineup for the Coyotes. He got some help from Montiel Martinez and Bolden Jr. with a beautiful double play. See if he can try to force another ground ball here. 0-1 count for Jake Williams, facing off against Richard Gill, who led off with a single in the game back in the bottom of the first. Pitch outside for ball 1.
Yeah, and Gill, like I said, he's been at the top of this Coyotes lineup pretty much all week. He's been hitting .385 with a .467 on base percentage. He's driven in 3 runs and scored 2 himself.
That one is fouled down the first base line. That was a pretty well hit ball, but just a little early on the swing. And Richard Gill from College of the Desert, another one of those prospect and projects for the College of the Desert staff, who have a lot of guys coaching here in the PSCL, including Coach Casey Dill and a handful of others. A lot of guys in the power lineup that are from College of the Desert. The next pitch is fouled off for, still remains a 1-2 count to Richard Gill. Another one of those players, who, I mean, he's a recent graduate as well. So he's showing off what could be the future of the College of the Desert, who's an up-and-coming program just down the way here in the Coachella Valley. Here's a 1-2 delivery, and he got a piece of it down the first base line and out of play.
He almost took out his first base coach on that one.
We need that guy's energy out there. Don't want to take him out yet.
Yeah, St. Hilary had to get out of the way from that hard hit ball from Richard Gill as he fights off another pitch.
Probably used some of those dance moves we saw earlier in the inning break. I don't know what you call that kind of dance, but anyways, a 1-2 count here with a man out first on Luke Manzano. They throw over to first to try to get Manzano, but he's in there safely. He wasn't too far off.
We've seen both pitchers today mixing up their timing on the mound, whether there's a guy on first or a couple of guys on, trying to disrupt the timing of the runner and the hitter. Both pitchers have done a good job of that today.
1-2 on the way again, and it's outside this time. After 3 foul balls by Richard Gill, he's worked it up to even 2-2 count. Here in a 1-0 ball game with the Bombers still on top. Coyotes have the tying run at first base right now, and the go-ahead's on the plate with a 2-2 count. Here's the delivery. Try to change up curveball and missed outside just slightly.
Yeah, didn't have enough break to run back into the strike zone. Just left that a little bit outside. May have missed by half of a baseball.
Richard Gill's got a full count now. Pitch number 8 on the way. And it's in the dirt. A good AB for Richard Gill. Back-to-back walks. And now men at first and second for the Coyotes.
That's the 3rd walk of the game for Jake Williams, as his catcher, Granger Moreno, is going to go out and have a word with him, as the Coyotes in this bottom of the 3rd have a couple of runners on to start off the inning. We'll see if Williams can manufacture a ground ball. He had 2 of them in the first and then a 6-4-3 double play in the second. So he's had that ground ball pitch working for him. It's just a matter of, can he get one here with nobody out and runners on first and second? It's Christian Ariola at the plate.
Here's the first delivery. He sends one flying to left field, and coming in is Einestad to make the catch there. That's the first out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. So he doesn't force a ground ball, but he sends one up in the air with a pop fly from Christian Ariola as he's taken down.
Yeah, first pitch swinging, aggressive approach for Ariola, and he put the barrel to the ball, just got hung up a little bit out there in left field, and Onstad makes the catch. But good for Williams to get that first out of the inning, especially on one pitch after giving up back-to-back walks.
So here's Dylan Garcia who steps in. He reached on a hit by pitch in his first at-bat of the day. Runners at first and second. Richard Gill at first and Manzano at second. At first is low for ball 1. And if Williams can try to force another ground ball, he can. They still have double play opportunity here. With almost every base minus home plate, they can step on for the force out. Here's the next delivery. That one's inside as Dylan Garcia scooches away for the inside pitch to make it a 2-0 count.
No action either bullpen just yet. We're only in the bottom of the third. But Owen Brown for the Coyotes and Jake Williams for the Bombers have been out there pitching pretty well. Only 3 hits in this ball game thus far. It's a 1-0 game. Bombers lead.
Here's the next delivery. That one looks like it painted the outside edge, and yes, it does for a 2-1 count.
Perfectly located fastball, especially in a 2-0 count. If you're going to throw one over the plate, that's where you want to put it, low and away over the zone to the right-handed hitter.
Dylan Garcia is recent high school graduate as well, uncommitted to any schools yet, so he's still looking for a home to play as they nearly catch the runner in Luke Manzano there at second, but nobody was covering the bag as Jake Williams just eats it up.
It was a good move from Williams. It got the runner at second, Manzano, guessing.
He's got Maciel covering there as that one's sent to left field in the gap. It will land and it will go all the way to the wall as they pick it up. Einestad, 1-1 will score. The other coming around, and here comes Dylan Garcia going to third. A lot of speed for a bases clearing 2 RBI triple.
Wow, what a hit. We just saw a line drive or a hard hit fly ball from Ariola that was caught by the left fielder. This one's hit more into the gap, and neither Anistat or Risley can come up with it. And the Coyotes have a big hit here in the third to take a 2-1 lead.
So the Bombers jump out in front early in the game in the top of the second inning, and then the Coyotes have responded here in the bottom of the third inning with a 2-run, 2 RBI triple for Dylan Garcia as he hit one to the left center gap. 2-1 ball game now with the Coyotes on top today. And Dylan Smith is talking with the entire infield and his pitcher after giving up the lead here. Caleb Montemar will be the next man up to face against Jake Williams if he remains on the mound. He's still got the ball in his hand right now, so it looks like they'll probably continue to work him through here. He's done a pretty good job, though. Like the first inning, they had bases loaded situation, and those ground balls helped out a lot. And the defense has helped him in the bottom of the second with the ground double play. But here, a lot more balls up in the outfield, and that one was hit a lot harder in that left center gap for Dylan Garcia to score the first 2 runs for the Coyotes.
Yeah, anytime you give up free bases, it's going to be hard to manufacture, to get yourself out of that inning, as there's so many different ways for your opponent to manufacture runs when you're putting guys on base. But with a guy on third and 1 out, the infield is in for the Bombers.
That one is hit to the third baseline. It looked like it was fair. Yes, it is. It's going to roll all the way to the corner as Dylan Garcia scores easily to home plate, and turning around second but stopping in his tracks is Caleb Montemar. So he's got a double, and now it's a 3-1 ball game with the Coyotes adding another run here in the bottom of the third inning.
3-1 ball game now. That one just stayed fair. Might have hit the paint right behind Jones, the third baseman down there. As that one chopped over his head, he just had to stand there and hope that it ends up on the left side of the line. It did not. And now the Coyotes have a 2-run lead.
First pitch is low for ball 1 here to Antonio Longobardi, with the Coyotes getting back-to-back extra base hits. And they hold a 3-1 lead here over the Bombers, who have allowed some extra runs to get through. And it looks like they got him there at second base. Good pickoff move from Jake Williams to take down Caleb Montemar. That's a pretty big out there for the Bombers.
Huge out, as he was the only guy on base. He was in scoring position, and even though the Coyotes have a 2-run lead, they could have used some insurance with that runner on second, and now there's 2 outs in the inning.
Tried a double move there, as that one is sent pop up behind the grandstands and out of play.
We saw a similar move from Williams earlier in this inning. There was no throw down to second, but he was checking on Carson Romero and had him kind of fooled, and a middle infielder covering the bag could have had a play, but this time they get the pickoff.
That one is also fouled off here by Montemayor, or Longobardi, excuse me.
So Longobardi, instead of having one out with a runner in scoring position, try to bring him home, he's got an even count with 2 outs, nobody on.
And that one's in the dirt for Longobardi. Yeah, that pickoff move there by Jake Williams makes this a much different scenario now for Antonio Longobardi, who had a chance to get some more runs batted in, even if he sent it to the outfield. But now there's 2 men away here as he grounds one to the third base side, and it is fair off the glove of Jones at the third base side. Turning around first, Longobardi goes to second. He's going to skip through second, but stop immediately in his tracks with the relay coming down from the left fielder in Einestead. So back-to-back doubles in that similar spot, but this time it was just a ground ball that just bounced around the third base bag and got into the outfield.
Carter Jones, I'm sure he's going to start creeping closer and closer towards that third baseline as a couple of balls have gotten over his head and into the corner in this inning. That's now 3 consecutive extra base hits for the Coyotes as they're not ready to end this third inning.
And if that runner was still at second, he would have scored another one to make it a 4-1 ball game, but it still is a 3-1 ball game with the Coyotes putting up 3 runs here in this half inning with 2 men away, and now they're on top of the Bombers who have a single run. Here's the first pitch and outside for ball 1 to Connor Meager, who grounded out into a 5-3 putout his last at bat, but it was a 3-2 count.
Yeah, and after that pickoff, getting Montemayor at second, Longobardi, after hitting that double, he was going back towards second when Williams threw the pitch. So he's thinking out there at second base, worrying about the pickoff now.
You saw what his teammate got caught up in earlier in the game, who kind of did like a half step towards third base, and then Jake Williams caught him as soon as he made that move and got him with a great throw and good coverage from Maciel there at the shortstop position to get the second out in a much different scenario. But they have a runner in scoring position again after Antonio Longobardi goes with his own double down that third base line. Connor Meager with a 2-0 count makes it a 2-1 count with a strike one down the middle as he watches it go by. 2 minutes away in a 3-1 ball game. The Coyotes have bounced in front of the Bombers, who had the lead earlier in the game. Now they don't anymore, with 4 hits in total for the Coyotes so far through 3 innings. Here's a 2-1 delivery on the way, and it's in the dirt in front of the plate for ball 3, 3-1 count for Connor Meager.
Yeah, somehow Granger Moreno able to keep that ball in front of him. Just kind of threw the glove out and keeps Longobardi at second base. It's now a 3-1 count.
Longobardi is such a cool name.
Antonio Longobardi.
I have such a boring name. Lee. Who wants Lee?
Well, his baseball and his bat have earned himself the trust of his coaching staff. For the first couple of games, he was batting in that 10 spot. And now he's moved up all the way to hitting 5th today. He's got a hit by pitch and a double now, so he's having an impressive week.
He's having himself a pretty good one so far. Your last name is actually pretty cool, Durham. Here's a 3-2 count here to Connor Meager, and strike 3 painted outside edge.
Bit of a late call from the home plate umpire there, but caught enough of the zone to ring him up.
So they get the third out of the inning. They leave one stranded on first, but the Coyotes have jumped down in front with a 3-1 lead here as we're off to the top of the 4th inning. The Bombers will look to try to rebound and get back in front of the Coyotes here on the PSCL YouTube channel.
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99, including one mouth-watering entree, a refreshing beverage, a $10 power card, and a whole lot of fun, which means you enjoy a delicious meal for under $10. Oh, look, that's 5 good things. Good things come in threes at Dave & Buster's with the Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99. Buy online or in-store today.
Hello, Power Baseball fans. At SBMP Attorneys, we believe in the power of community. And that's why we proudly support the Palm Springs Power, our hometown baseball team. After a memorable championship season in 2024, capping off the team's 20th anniversary, we're all very excited about the 2025 Power team. SBMP Attorneys and the Palm Springs Power are two teams that are committed to excellence, community, and the spirit of winning. We'll see you all at the ballpark.
We're on our way through 3 innings here in the top of the 4th. If you're just joining us, it's a 3-1 ball game with the Coyotes, who went through 3 extra base hits in the bottom of the 3rd, and that scored 3 runs for them as they bounced in front of the Bombers. And here in the top of the 4th, Owen Brown, another inning of work trying to hold off the Bombers here after his team offensively just took the lead. He'll face off against Will Horseman. First pitch, swing and a miss. Change up on the first get-go into the glove of Pollard there behind the plate. The Bombers will have the task of trying to bounce back in front against the Coyotes here. Both teams, again, coming off of a couple of tough losses as they try to bounce onto the win column. Next pitch in the dirt for ball 1. 1-1 count here for Will Horseman.
Yeah, Will Horseman, big presence in that right-handed batter's box. Grounded out to the third baseman last time. It was a nice play over there by Manzano.
Here's a 1-1 delivery on the way from Owen as he swings and misses for strike 2.
Big hack from Horseman out in front. So he's now down 1-2.
Will Horseman from Kansas City, Missouri, graduate from last year. Here's the next delivery as he grounds one in the infield. Jumping in front of it is Montemeyers. He throws to first to get the 5-3 putout for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, softly hit ground ball to the left side of the infield. Montemeyer and Longobardi in the area, but it was Montemeyer who had the better angle as he throws a strike down to Manzano at first for out number 1 of the 4th.
So here's Christian Maciel, who scored a run himself after leading off the top of the 2nd with a single. That was the only run of the game for the Bombers so far, as they're trying to look for some more here. That first pitch watched for strike 1 on the inside corner of the strike zone. Maciel from the other side of the mountain here in Palm Springs, Mount San Jacinto College, as he fouls one off to the backstop on the 0-1 count. He's behind it with a 0-2 here.
Shortstop for the Bombers had a couple of ground balls to him. Started off that 6-4-3 double play in the 2nd inning.
That one is in the dirt on the outside edge for ball 1, 1-2 count here for Christian Maciel.
A 3-1 ball game as the Coyotes are out in the lead trying to defend it for the first time.
Long pause, sets up 1-2, got him, tipped it into the glove, but
oh, it is a strike.
Yeah, it is a strikeout. Thought he got a piece of it as he tipped into the glove, and it looked like it bounced out of Pollard's glove initially, but they say it's strike 3. So down goes Christian Maciel for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, and that long pause worked out into Owen Brown's favor as he just waited and waited to deliver that fastball up in the zone, and Maciel was late on it for the second out.
Here's the first pitch, and in there for strike one on the top inside edge of the strike zone for Isaiah Dandridge, the righty hitter.
Extra hitter in the Bombers lineup today. Remember, there's 10 batters in each lineup for the PSCL. So you're going to get see a lot of extra at-bats for guys.
Trying to give as many people as much playing time as possible. The hope is for a lot of these players to kind of move on to the next level. And if you're good enough for the PSCL, you might be able to play in the power if you could return next year. A lot of power prospects that have their roots in the PSCL. That one's in there for strike two.
Yeah, take a look at Anthony Sanchez. Last year he was the PSCL Pitcher of the Year. He had a sub-1 ERA. I mean, his numbers were just through the roof. A K per 9 of like 15 plus or something. So he's obviously on the power now, shoving from the left side of the mound. So
now one is grounded to the second base side. He picks it up, throws to first. Romero Manzano in the inning with a 4-3 put away. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Owen Brown as we're off to the bottom of the fourth. Still a 3-1 ball game with the Coyotes on top through 3.5. Be back here on the PSCL YouTube channel in just a few.
There's something winning in the agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Across the Coachella Valley, you'll find our communities powered by short-term rentals. These rentals bring visitors and dollars to the region. Whether attending events, checking out the art scene, or dining at restaurants, when they spend money, we all score. The nearly $1 billion impact of short-term vacation rentals generates tax revenues that fund police, firefighters, education, and many other programs that improve our daily lives. To learn why short-term rentals are a grand slam for the home team, visit onecv.org.
Shopping for car insurance is confusing. Holy cow.
Great. Now we have a cow in our kitchen. Why did you say that?
Because I don't know what coverage to choose.
So just say the State Farm jingle. A State Farm agent can go over all your options with you and help choose coverage that meets your needs. Dude, cow, could you move?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back to you live here on the PSCL YouTube channel. Justin Lee and Zach Durham here on the call.
Every service any homeowner could ask for.
Hi, I'm Damien with the Management Trust. We're a community management built differently for your homeowners association. To find out how, give me a call.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Quality first. It's quite a philosophy to live by. But world-class ingredients are the foundation of great meals. And we wouldn't have it any other way. At Kaiser Grill in downtown Palm Springs, we believe you deserve the best. So whether it's dinner for 2 or a celebration with 200 friends, quality is our promise to you. Because quality is king. Quality is Kaiser.
Welcome back, folks, for the top of the 5th inning here in the Bombers and Coyotes PSCL game. My name is Justin Lee alongside Zachary Durham. Welcome, fellow friends and esteemed colleagues, to this broadcast. We're through 4 innings. It's a 3-1 ball game with the Coyotes on top here. And Owen Brown is still up on the mound through 4 innings. He's taken down 3 guys, given up a run, but he's having himself a pretty good solid outing so far. He'll face off against Delmonico Granger Moreno here in this at-bat. First pitch in there for strike 1.
Yeah, Owen Brown has been out there for all 5 innings for the Coyotes. Ran into a couple, or a little bit of trouble, should I say, in the first couple of innings. But since then, in the 3rd and 4th, it's been a bunch of zeros.
Next delivery, that one's in the dirt. Took a 1-hopper in front of the plate for ball 1, 1-1 count.
He's got 4 strikeouts through 4 innings. And his team has a 2-run lead as they try to hang on to that here in the 5th.
The product from East LA up there on the mound. 1-1 count on the way. Pitch upstairs for ball 2. Owen Brown, previous half inning, got through with a 1-2-3 outing with a strikeout and 2 forced ground balls. He hasn't allowed a hit since the top of the 2nd here against the Bombers, who had themselves a pretty good day, and that one is up and through, right up the middle into the outfield for a single. So leadoff single here for Delmonico Granger Moreno.
That was a sharply hit ball right back up the middle, as that was the first hit allowed by Brown since the 2nd inning. Just the 3rd of the game for the Bombers, but that's a good way to start off this inning. We're going to have a pinch runner, courtesy runner, for the catcher.
Carter Jones will be the man to step on into the box here. Heath Bolden Jr. on deck.
Run first with nobody out.
Moreno, Brown ready. Moreno with a pinch courtesy runner, and they call timeout, which Brown has been really using that long pause to throw batters off their timing so far.
Still trying to get a look at who the pinch runner is over there on first. But after that leadoff single from Delmonico Granger Moreno.
This one's sent to the right side. Backing up and going after it is Garcia. He'll turn around and make the catch there for the first out. Good defensive play on the ball that was trailing towards that right center gap. And Garcia was able to get a good step on it for the first out of the inning.
That's Gatlin Leard out there at first base, pinch running for the Bombers catcher, as Heath Bolden Jr. comes up to the plate. Owen Brown checks the runner at first.
There's a first pitch. Leard's going to second. Good throw, but just bounced out of the glove of the covering man, Romero. So Gatlin Leard's got a stolen base here. Heath Bolden Jr., who grounded into a 4-3 putout earlier. This is a much bigger bat here in the box here, and now a runner in the scoring position with 1 man away in a 3-1 ball game for the Coyotes, who are still on top since the 3rd inning. Brown delivers upstairs. Bolden was able to get his head down before it could take a piece off of his cap. And it makes it a 1-1 count for Heath Bolden.
And Bolden's a big guy, big presence in that right-handed batter's box. So if he's having to get out of the way, then that pitch missed its mark. But Brown in an even count and a guy on second trying to keep him from scoring.
Here's a 1-1 delivery upstairs. A little off with the release point there. 2-1 count.
Yeah, he looked a little erratic there on the release point. He's been checking on that runner on second. That's Laird over there after coming in to pinch run for Granger Moreno.
He's got Romero covering that second base bag on the defensive side for the Coyotes. Bolden goes after the pitch upstairs and outside and fouls it to behind the grandstands here and over the press box that we are contained in here at Palm Springs Stadium inside the Agua Caliente Casinos booth. 2-2 count here for Heath Bolden Jr. with one man away and a runner at second base. Owen Brown, 6'2", 250 pounds, freshman over at East LA College. Hasn't made a lot of appearances this year for them, but here in the PSCL, he's doing pretty good so far. And that pitch is way inside over the head of Bolden Jr. to make it a 3-2 count.
Teammates with a few power players over there. AJ Moreno, one of them. Isaac Quintero.
Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are up over the Blue Sox in the bottom of the 7th, 7-4 right now at the turf field.
Grizzlies are 3-1 on the year, trying to improve their record.
Here's a 3-2 delivery. Bolden Jr. got a piece of it to keep the at-bat alive.
That game over there is moving quickly if they're already in the 7th. Low-scoring game here, but it's been very entertaining. Both pitchers, Owen Brown for the Coyotes and Jake Williams for the Bombers, have been putting in good performances on the bump.
Here's a 3-2 count again for Heath Bolden Jr. as Brown keeps that second base runner close by, and it's over the head of Bolden Jr. He'll have a walk. So now 2 men on base. Leard at second after a stolen bag, and the leadoff single from Delmonico Granger Moreno. He's the pinch runner. Gatlin Leard is at second base, and now Heath Bolden Jr. at first with one man away, with the Coyotes still on top 3-1 here in the top of the 5th inning.
And looks like somebody is up and heading down towards the bullpen for the Coyotes. It looks like it's Everett Babcock walking down to get loose. Unless he is warming up. It looks like Thomason is also down there. So one of those two are going to come in relief of Owen Brown, whenever that may be. He's in there for his 5th inning of work. He's got runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the 5th.
So back to the top lineup. Kane and Risley will try to get at least a run in with one in scoring position and one at first. He's walked twice already today. Hasn't really gotten much of a pitch to swing on and hit into the outfield as he watches the first one upstairs for ball 1. Pretty good at bats though for Kane Risley, who's gone through 2 at bats with full counts.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of pitches. He's drawn a couple of walks. He's been tagged out on the bases a couple of times.
Here's the next pitch, and that one's on the coast-to-coast side and down inside the dirt.
Yeah, the first inning, he had a leadoff walk and then was thrown out at home trying to score on a ground ball to Montemayor at third. And then in the third, when he walked, he was out at second on a 5-3 fielder's choice.
2-0 count, pitch on the way. Sends it the opposite field and right through the 4-3 gap. A slow roller as turning around is Leard. He'll score on a crazy throw from the outfield from Garcia, and everybody else stops where they are as diving back is Heath Bolden Jr. Well, he's got a pinch runner there that looks like they're on the third base side. I'm just recognizing that now. But Bombers bounce back 3-2 now. The score, the Bombers are behind by 1 run now.
That was a nicely hit ball and good base running from Risley to advance to second on the throw, as it's now a 3-2 ball game. And that looks like it'll be it for Owen Brown, as Kanan Risley was his last batter. And it's going to be, looks like Zach Thomason coming in to pitch for the Coyotes. This is coming off of a good performance a few games ago against the A's, where he went 3 innings, 3 hitless innings with 3 strikeouts. So he'll come in to this situation here in the 5th with 2 runners in scoring position in a 1-run game.
So Owen Brown stays done through 4 1/3. We'll be back here on the PSCL YouTube channel in just a few moments. Bombers are trying to bounce back. Coyotes still up on top, 3-2.
The Management Trust is a 100% employee-owned company. Every employee has a vested interest in providing memorable experiences to every homeowner and board members of HOAs. It's a very powerful thing. No homeowners association is too small or too large for us to manage. From community maintenance services to customized absentee home care, the Management Trust provides just about every service any homeowner could ask for.
Hi, I'm Damien with the Management Trust. We're community management built differently for your homeowners association. To find out how, give me a call.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Quality first. It's quite a philosophy to live by. But world-class ingredients are the foundation of great meals. And we wouldn't have it any other way. At Kaiser Grill in downtown Palm Springs, we believe you deserve the best. So whether it's dinner for 2 or a celebration with 200 friends, quality is our promise to you. Because quality is king. Quality is Kaiser.
So here in the top of the 5th inning, still 1 man out. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. New pitcher for the Coyotes is number 16, Zach Thomason, who takes over for Owen Brown with a tight ball game here for the Coyotes and the Bombers, who are trying to bounce back after the Coyotes jump out in front with a 3-1 lead back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the Bombers got one back here so far. And they're trying to add some more and possibly also take the lead. So here's Xander Martinez who steps in. Here's the first pitch on the way as he steps off before trying to go for it. Taking a little pause here. And if you're just joining us, it's a 3-2 ball game. Coyotes on top of the Bombers right now here in the top of the 5th inning. 1 man away, 2 singles have driven in another run here for the Bombers. And here's the first pitch on the way from Thomason as that one is sent flying up in the air. That might stay in play. Trailing over is, whoa, Montemar as he turned around the photo box that's down on the 3rd base line, and it was just beyond it. And he didn't really have a chance to make a play on that catch.
Yeah, that was tough. That photo well down there on the 3rd base side, just in the way of Montemayor trying to make that play. It was going to be tough no matter what, as he might have had to reach over and make a play similar to the one that Mark Kirkland made last night, reaching over into the visiting dugout on a pop fly.
Yeah, he had a full layout jump over the dugout fencing that's on top of the dugouts here at the Palm Springs Stadium, and he pretty much was sitting on the railing itself to make that beautiful catch inside the Inland Valley Buccaneers dugout in the first base line. That was a great web gen last night if you missed it. Here's the 0-1 count pitch that misses outside for a 1-1 count here to Xander Martinez with 2 men on base and 1 man away here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, the Coyotes have the infield in with 2 runners in scoring position, trying to cut out the lead runner from scoring.
Here's the next delivery. That one's in the dirt for ball 2. And with 1 out away, Xander Martinez can also just simply choose to lay one in the air for a pop fly and a sacrifice fly to try to drive in another run to tie the game. Seth Einestad is on deck awaiting to get on board here.
Yeah, and there's a big gap between the 3rd baseman and shortstop as Montemayor is holding the runner on over there. And the first baseman, Manzano, is playing pretty close to the line as well.
This one is in play, popped up in the air. Romero turns around, steps back in to make the catch in the infield. So unable to get the job done on that swing, and pop up for Xander Martinez, 2 away here in the top of the 5th.
Big out number 2 in this inning for the Coyotes. Zach Thompson comes in and gets a massive out, popping up with 2 guys in scoring position. Now he's 1 out away from getting out of this jam.
So Isaac Gerardo is at third base in place of Heath Bolden Jr. as a courtesy runner. And Kana Risley's at second after an RBI single. 2 outs and away. Here's Seth Einestad in the box. First pitch upstairs for ball 1.
Seth Einestad 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. This is a perfect opportunity to give yourself a chance to give the Bombers the lead.
1-0 count. Thomason delivers, and it's pieced by Seth Einestad to the back net.
That was a good swing. He was a little bit out in front of it, but it was a short, compact swing. Tried to put the barrel on the ball, lined it foul behind him towards the visiting dugout.
It's a 1-1 count here for Seth Einestad, who has struck out twice, and he gets another piece of it and sends it to the Bombers' dugout side for strike 2. 1-2 count.
3-hole hitter for the Bombers. This is exactly who you want at the plate in this pressure situation. 2 outs, 1-run ball game, and an opportunity to at least tie the game with the ball in the outfield.
1-2 count here. 2 men at second and third in scoring position. 2 men away. The 3-2 ball game still with the Coyotes still on top, but the Bombers have slowly making their way back in after scoring a run here in the top of the 5th. You're just joining us. Justin Lee and Zachary Durham here on the PSCL YouTube channel. 1-2 count. Thompson is ready. He sets, delivers, and swing and a miss. Drop third strike. And they'll just step and tag the runner. No, the umpire just calls it a strikeout regardless. So they leave 2 men on base, but the Bombers are able to add 1 back in a 3-2 ball game as we're off to the bottom of the 5th here on the PSCL YouTube channel. It's a pretty close one here, folks. Stay tuned.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating,
Bottom of the 5th inning, we are. Bombers behind by a single run with the Coyotes still up 3-2. If you're just joining us here on the PSCL YouTube channel, Justin Lee and Zachary Durham on the call. And leading off here is Richard Gill as he sends one to the left field side up in the air and down and in the bullpen of the Coyotes and out of play for strike 1. to Richard Gill, who has reached on base twice already today with a walk and a single. He's having himself a pretty nice day here on this Sunday morning here on Father's Day in 2025. And again, happy Father's Day to all the dads and husbands who are watching this broadcast. 0-1 count here to Richard Gill. Here's the next delivery. That one's way outside for ball one.
Yeah, you mentioned Gill was able to reach base in both of his plate appearances. Single in the first, walk in the third, came around to score in that inning. That's exactly why he's in the leadoff spot for the Coyotes.
That one is inside but misses for ball two. And Jake Williams is still the pitcher out there after working through 4 innings and giving up 3 runs to the Coyotes back in the 3rd inning with 3 back-to-back extra base hits. He's still up there as that next pitch is in the dirt for ball 3, 3-1 count. Don't have any movement in the bullpen right now for the Bombers. It's a little surprising because Jake Williams' pitch count is a little high at the moment.
There's a bullpen catcher and somebody down there. He doesn't have a glove on him, however. He's just kind of getting loose down there without throwing a ball.
Swing and a miss on the outside pitch. Richard Gill took one badly on the outside corner that was outside the strike zone. And maybe we got a pitcher who wants to go commando without a glove.
That would be impressive. that would be a first, at least in my time watching baseball.
It's just an era where baseball, we just have no gloves. And swing and a miss. Good pitch from Jake Williams to take down the first man of this bottom of the 5th inning. 1 away.
5th strikeout for Williams. First one. He's had actually 1 strikeout in every inning that he's pitched. So he's been consistent with the punch-out pitch.
Every time the Coyotes have been up, they let off with at least a walk or a hit, but this time they don't, as the first pitch is sent down the right field line and out of play by Christian Arriola, who has yet to get on base with a fly out to left field and a strikeout looking. With 1 away here, first time that the leadoff man has been taken down by the Bombers, as that next pitch is a changeup off speed and dots the outside corner for a strike. 0-2 count for Christian Arriola. You're in a 3-2 ball game with the Coyotes still up, and that next pitch is fouled out of the way over the Bombers dugout. Still an 0-2 count.
Nice protective swing from Arriola there just to stay alive. He's still in an 0-2 count, but trying to fight.
Another one fouled off, keeping this at bat alive. That's 3 pitches he's fouled off to keep it at 0-2 count.
Another good swing where you're trying to put the bat on the ball and not just fight off a pitch to fight it off, but consistently able to do so on that pitch on the outer half. Let's see if Williams tries to go somewhere different.
0-2 again. Goes for one down in the ground and is able to knock it into the outfield between the 5-6 gap. And he's on board after fouling 3 pitches in a 0-2 count. He's up on top.
What an at-bat for Christian Arriola. That's exactly what you want to get things going here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Fought off a couple of really good pitches outside and pieced one low, found a hole in between 3rd and short, and he's standing on first base.
Arriola's on base for the first time today after that single right through the 5-6 gap. And he's on board after going after a pitch that was pretty much low in the ground. First pitch outside here to Dylan Garcia, who's up to bat right now. He's also reached twice today. One of those being a 2 RBI triple, which he knocked in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And then the first time he got on base was a hit by pitch earlier in the game. So it's a 1-0 count here to Dylan Garcia. And he grounds one to the shortstop. They throw it to second, over to first for yet another double play. 6-4-3 to end the inning.
Another 6-4-3. That's the second of the game for the Coyotes and 2 in 4 innings.
So another ground double play ends the inning as the Bombers keep the Coyotes from trying to score another run. They'll have another chance to try to get back out in front as they're off to the bottom or the top of the 6th inning here on the PSCL YouTube channel. It's a 3-2 ball game. Coyotes still on top.
family setting. You know, we come and we get into conversation, and it's comfortable here is what I guess I'll say. It's comfortable.
The hot cocoa has whipped cream and sprinkles in the whipped cream in the hot cocoa.
Very family oriented. You know, they cater to the kids. They got the coloring books and crayons, and they have kid-sized stuff about almost for everything that you would want. So young and old, everybody can enjoy it.
It's the best.
Made from scratch memories. Elmer's.
Building your business is no small undertaking, and you need the right team by your side. Whether you're just getting started or expanding nationwide, Pacific Premier Bank is here to support your business every step of the way. As your trusted banking partner, we can help guide you down the right path with customized solutions designed for your business. We'll help you achieve the success you deserve. Pacific Premier Bank. Let's build your future together.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Welcome back. Top of the 6th inning. We're through 5, and the Coyotes are still on top 3-2. But the Bombers with a chance here to try to get some runs in. They'll lead off here in the top of the 6th, try to bounce back in front where they had the lead earlier in the game in the top of the 2nd, but the Coyotes scored 3 in the bottom of the 3rd, and then the Bombers in the previous half inning scored 1 back to make it a 3-2 ball game. And the relief pitcher, Zach Thomason, is still up there on the mound after taking over for Owen Brown, who had a pretty good outing before giving up another run. And Ziyuan Young is up in the box here to lead off. Here's the first pitch. That one is in there for strike one as he watched an off-speeder float in.
Yeah, Owen Brown had a good performance. His final line reads as this: 4.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned with 2 walks and 4 strikeouts.
This one's popped in the air, Young, and the pitcher coming over and bouncing back.
Oh!
Whoa! What a great play and do-it-yourselfer for the pitcher, Thomason.
What a play. I'll say it again. Pitchers are athletes, as he overran that one a little bit too, but able to make the adjustment. It's so hard to pick up a high fly ball in this cloudless Palm Springs sky. But what a play from the pitcher to get the first out of the 6th.
That's a solid 1U and an El Paseo Jewelers web gen for sure. 1 out and away after a great play by the pitcher Thomason. Here's a first pitch delivery here to Will Horstman as he watches it in there for ball 1 on the inside. And he ran in all the way from the mound and then came over just beyond the first base chalk, and he bounced back, leaning back and made the catch with a high pop fly from Young. 1-1 count here for Will Horstman, who swung and missed on the previous pitch. Again, the Bombers trying to climb back with a 3-2 ball game. Coyotes still up in front as the next pitch is bouncing the ground and away from the catcher for a 2-1 count. We've seen a lot of good plays from both defenses so far. The previous half inning ended in a ground double play. That was the second one for the Bombers defense today. There's a 2-1 delivery on the way, and it's a liner heated down the left field line, but it's out of play as he is early on that swing for a 2-2 count.
Yeah, way out in front of that one, but he put a nice swing on it, barreled to the ball, hard line drive, foul down the third base line. Count runs even at 2-2.
That one's in the dirt for the next pitch, and it's a full count here for Will Horstman, who still looking for his first chance on base today as well. Couple of grounders already. Here's the 3-2 on the way, and that one is upstairs for ball 4. So the tying runs on base at first for the Bombers off the walk of Will Horstman with 1 man away here in the 3-2 ball game. The Coyotes still up on top, and Christian Maciel will come up to bat. Has already had 1 single today so far.
Yeah, that was in the 2nd inning. He came around to score the first run for the Bombers.
Whoa, that nearly got Christian Maciel in the face on that upstairs pitch for ball 1. He's able to lean out of the way to keep the at-bat alive and avoid a hit-by-pitch.
Action in the Coyotes bullpen as well as Aaron Perez.
Oh, they got him at second base. Will Horseman tried to steal the bag, but Thomason still had the ball in his glove, and he just turns around and takes down Will Horseman on a steal attempt. So that walk runner is negated now, and there's two-way here in the top of the 6th inning.
Oh, called strike on the inner half. That breaking ball just caught the zone, despite Pollard being unable to squeeze it.
That's the second time today that there's been a runner taken down off of a pickoff attempt or caught stealing for both teams. That ball was in the dirt, or swung on and missed for 1-2 count.
I mean, that was representing the tying run in the 6th of 7 innings here.
That's popped in the air as he gets jammed on one. The infield's going to have to come in, and making the catch is Romero from the second base position for the final out. So they do get a runner on base, but he's taken down on a steal attempt. And then a pop fly here for the second baseman. Bombers still behind by a single run as we're off to the bottom of the 6th inning in a 3-2 ball game here on the PSCL YouTube channel.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Hello, Power Baseball fans. At SBMP Attorneys, we believe in the power of community. And that's why we proudly support the Palm Springs Power, our hometown baseball team. After a memorable championship season in 2024, capping off the team's 20th anniversary, we're all very excited about the 2025 Power team. SBMP Attorneys and the Palm Springs Power are two teams that are committed to excellence, community, and the spirit of winning. We'll see you all at the ballpark.
Monster Shakes, the best ice cream creations in the desert and only place in the world that serves all 10 flavors of Dole Soft Serve. The winner of the best soft serve and smoothies, home to the world's best date shake and other fun creations like ice cream nachos and the cotton candy burrito. For a limited time, come in and try your luck. Any soft serve that weighs exactly 16 ounces is free. Monster Shakes in Palm Springs and Cathedral City facing the Mary Pickford. Franchise opportunities available too. Monster Shakes, a delicious mess.
Back here on the PSCL YouTube channel, my name is Justin Lee alongside Zachary Durham inside the booth. We're here in the bottom of the 6th inning as that first pitch is swung on down the left field line. Is it going to stay fair? It is foul. Just barely beyond that foul pole line. It looked like it was staying in the park too. I thought that was going to get out quickly, but that's a foul ball and a really long one too.
A loud strike one to start off this bottom of the 6th off the bat of Caleb Montemayor. That one was scorched down the left field line over the Gurley 21 sign on the left side of that foul pole. Just foul. Had the distance, but Montemayor couldn't keep it straight.
Had a whole big swing and power in there. And the new pitcher is also Dylan Leskew up in the mound here before that long pop fly into left field, or line driver, I should say. 1-1 count here to Caleb Montemayor against the new pitcher, who takes over for Jake Williams, who had himself a pretty good day as well, as that one is floated and missing upstairs for ball 2, 2-1 count.
Yeah, Williams, 5 innings pitched, allowed 5 hits. Also had 5 strikeouts, 1 in each inning, so not a bad outing for him.
Now one is floated in the same spot, but it misses the call for a 3-1 count now for Caleb Montemayor upstairs.
It's crazy to think that Williams is in line for the loss after putting in a nice performance like that.
And that one's floated that time for strike 2. 3-2 count now for Caleb Montemeyer.
Yeah, Lescue spun that breaking ball in there on a 3-1 count to make the count full now. As the righty kicks for the payoff pitch.
3-2 on the way, and that one sent opposite field to right. Young sits under and makes a catch. He didn't have to move too much to get that play. So 1 out and away after a full count for Caleb Montemeyer as he's taken down for the first out of the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, you said Yang barely had to move out there. He might have taken 2 steps before catching that fly ball for out number 1 of the bottom of the 6th.
So here's Longobardi, who last at bat capped off a streak of extra base hits, a triple from Dylan Garcia, Caleb Montemeyer, a double, and then Antonio Longobardi capped it off with a double to give the Coyotes the 3-1 lead back in the bottom of the 3rd inning, but it's a 3-2 ball game here still with a new pitcher up on the mound, and that first pitch floated in for ball 1 here against Longobardi. Here's the next one, and that one's on the outside edge for strike 1, a 1-1 count. And the Bombers also have a new first baseman in place of Heath Bolden Jr. there, as that one is popped up in the air towards the press box. And
right in front of us.
Yep, right in the stands.
Not too far away.
I think I have my glove down here in case that happens.
Always got to be ready.
Oh, yeah. 1-2 count. The new first baseman, by the way, is Keaton Allen, as that one's grounded towards the shortstop. Good pickup and a scoop to first base. Good play for the second out. That's a 6-3 put out.
Yeah, Longobardi, after getting hit by a pitch and hitting a double, is retired for the first time today by grounding out to his counterpart for the second out.
The Bombers have a lot of big first basemen, too. Caden Allen is 5'11", 260 pounds. His predecessor, Heath Bolden Jr., who was playing for most of the game, is 6'5", 245 pounds. So a lot of big guys at that first base position. And they made a lot of good plays today. Heath Bolden Jr. has assisted with putouts in 2 ground double plays. And here's Connor Meager with 2 men away as he swings and misses at the first pitch. Still looking for his first chance to get on base here in a 3-2 ball game. The Coyotes trying to add some extra runs here as they still have the lead through 5.5. As that pitch misses outside for ball 1, 1-1 count with 2 men away.
Yeah, the Coyotes have been involved in a lot of high-scoring, lopsided games. Here they are in a low-scoring, 1-run ball game. 3-2 is the score here in the bottom of the 6th. As Justin just said, trying to find a way to bring home a couple insurance runs going into the top of the 7th.
Last pitch was in there for a called strike. Here's a 1-1 count delivery. He gets a piece of it opposite field. It's going to land over the head of the second baseman, Martinez, and he's got himself a single. Connor Meager is up on board with 2 men away.
Nice piece of 2-out hitting. Not trying to do too much with the pitch. Just put your bat on the ball and hope it finds a soft spot throughout the defense, and it does just that right over the head of Martinez, the second baseman, into shallow right center field to extend the inning. 6th hit of the game.
As Connor Meager goes back to first with a pickoff attempt. Here's Maxwell Schmerber walking a strikeout his last at bat. Trying to see if he can add that insurance run at first base, but he's got to move over if he chooses to do so. And a swing and a miss on an off-speeder. He was way early on that pitch.
Yeah, good off-speed to get Schmerber out in front. Tying run over at first base after that 2-out single from Connor Meager.
3-2 ball game. Coyotes still on top. Here's the delivery. Got a good piece of it over the mound and picked up and tossed to second from the shortstop. So they get the 3rd out of the inning. They leave another one stranded on the bases for the Coyotes, but they still have the lead. The Bombers see if they can try to take it from the Coyotes here as we're off to the top of the 7th here on the PSCL YouTube channel.
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like our eat, drink, and play combo for just $19.99. Maybe the saying should be good things come in 19.99s. Maybe not. The Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $27.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Jessup Auto Plaza has been proudly serving the Coachella Valley since 1938 as your trusted family-owned auto destination. Now, electrify your drive with the Valley's most extensive range of electric vehicles. Drive the Chevrolet Blazer, Equinox, Silverado, the powerful GMC Hummer, Sierra, and the distinctive Cadillac Lyriq. Silent power, bold performance. Electrify your drive. Jessup Auto Plaza. Since 1938, the EV brands you love, the family you trust.
So if you're just joining us here, we've reached pretty much the 2-hour limit for PSCL games here on the PSCL YouTube channel. Justin Lee, Zachary Durham on the call. The Coyotes are on top 3-2 here in the top of the 7th inning, and what should be the final chance for the Bombers to try to put some runs on the board and take the lead here, as that first pitch is missing for ball 1 here for Isaiah Dandridge, as he faces off against the new pitcher in Aaron Perez after Zach Thomason goes for an inning and 2/3. That one's inside for ball 2. 2-0 count. 3-2 is the score. 10 hits for both teams, 6 for the Coyotes and 4 for the Bombers. The tight ball game here at Palm Springs Stadium. 0-2 count on the way, and inside, or excuse me, should be a 3-0 count. So Isaiah Dandridge with the hitter's count here, 3-0 on the way, and he watches it for strike 1 on the inside edge.
Dandridge 0 for 2 today, so if he's going to have a moment to change that trend and get on base, this is the time to do it. 3-1 count leading off in the top of the 7th in a 1-run game.
And that's in there for strike 2 as Dandridge was ready to go to first base.
You've seen that a lot today where there's a 3-1 count and the pitch is in there for strike 2, but the hitter's already walking towards first, expecting it to be called ball 4.
That one is sent and out on the third base side. Picked up and throw to first. Long throw. Good play. That was Montemeyer and Manzano for the putout.
Another infield defensive assist for Montemeyer. He's had a good day defensively over there at the hot corner, as that's the first out of the 7th.
And here comes Tanner Workington, for Delmonico Granger. Moreno is a pinch hitter here in the 8th spot of the lineup. Make his first appearance today in the box for the Bombers with 1 man away in a 3-2 ball game with the Coyotes on top here in the top of the 7th. First pitch in there for strike 1. Monaco Granger, who was the previous batter, was the man who got on first base with a leadoff single in the bottom of the 5th inning, or top of the 5th inning, excuse me. And he ended up running the second run on the board for the Bombers, with Gatlin Lear being the courtesy runner. The next pitch was in the dirt for a 1-1 count. And Tanner Workentine trying to get on base to give the Bombers at least a chance to tie up the game. Sets and delivers. And that one is inside for ball 2.
Corner infield is playing on the line here. There's a big gap in the middle of the field between the second baseman and shortstop, as they're playing pretty far away from each other.
Aaron Perez is the pitcher that's on the mound right now for the Coyotes. Big swing and a miss on the off-speeder. He was way early.
Warkington tried to tie the game up with that swing. Big hack on that pitch up in the zone.
2-2 count here for Tanner Workington, who tried to do KJ Moon what he did last night with a 430-foot home run over the center field wall. 102 miles off the bat, as both of us were watching that game last night. Pretty fun one for the Power over the Inland Valley Bucks. The next pitch was in the dirt for a 3-2 count here to Tanner Workington, trying to get on base for the Bombers. Try to tie up the game in a 3-2 ball game. Coyotes and Bombers here in the top of the 7th. Here's the next delivery. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2-way.
Good location for that fastball from Aaron Perez, down at the knees and outside from the right-handed hitter. As 2 down here in the 7th, Aaron Perez and the Coyotes 1 out away from their 2nd victory on the year.
So here is Carter Jones stepping into the box. He hasn't gotten on base yet as he grounds one to third base. Throw from Montemeyer over to first, high throw, and he steps on the bag for the final out of the game and secures a victory for the Coyotes as they win 3-2 after 3 extra base hits that came in form during the 3rd inning, and they never looked back, holding the Bombers to just 2 runs. Big win here for the Coyotes.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-2 ball game, very well pitched. Only 10 hits between both teams, and it's Owen Brown who I believe is going to get credited with the victory for the Coyotes. Very well pitched ball game. Not much else I could say about it. That's what you want to see here on this stadium, Palm Springs Stadium. High aspirations for these players, and putting in performances like that are going to get them places.
For sure. Dylan Garcia, Caleb Montemeyer, and Antonio Longobardi were big contributors with a triple and then 2 doubles back-to-back, and they were able to get a lot of runs in for the Coyotes as they knock in a good victory here in a tight ball game, 3-2 the final score. Final line, the Coyotes 6 hits, 3 runs, and the Bombers with 4 hits and 2 runs, 2 errors for the Coyotes today, as they'll enjoy the rest of their Father's Day here on the PSCL YouTube channel. You've been listening to Justin Lee and Zachary Durham. Join us here later, though, on the PSCL YouTube channel when we take a look at the Rush versus the A's later. That should start around 11:30 a.m. or a little bit later since this one ended a bit late. So we'll be back